yes, the phrase "you need to spend money to make money" is valid, and you should be investing in your marketing. That does not mean you go all in on a piece of marketing advice. This isn't a casino.
Yeah, I mean,
Hey everyone, welcome to the S.O.B Marketing Podcast, where we celebrate the S.O.B that you are, and if you haven't figured it out yet, we mean small-owned business. We don't mean S.O.B.
listen, we know that as a small business owner, you are working hard on the daily to keep your business fully operational while trying to promote it. And while some days it may feel like the business is owning you, if we're being honest with each other, I bet you would admit that you wouldn't give up the insanity for anything.
Our commitment here at the S.O.B Marketing Podcast is to give you the real talk, what works when it comes to advertising, marketing, promoting your business, and then what doesn't really work.
And Chelsea and I promise to always keep the conversation real.
Well.
Oh.
Hello, Vivian.
Hello, you're back again.
Yes, I'm back again, and so are all of our SOBs.
Hey, SOBs.
Hey, it's good to hear from you guys. Today, we have a great conversation. We're going to court.
Yeah, believe it or not, you're on trial. You are on trial today.
No, they are not on trial. Marketing advice is on trial. Today, we are talking about all the marketing advice out there and, you know, how, as a small business owner, you can look at it and say, oh, this is worth my time, or I shouldn't listen to this person, right? Really, at the end of the day, we're talking about whether marketing advice is legit or not and how to decide.
Yeah, and you guys, we're pretty passionate about this particular topic just because, for one, we know you're inundated with all of this information. I don't know who thought it was a good idea to put information online. Just be like, have at it. Just all the stuff, let it be available at your fingertips. And so then you spend literally 80% of your time like, should I do this? Should I not do this? What, I mean, you know, is this going to benefit me? And then you go down these rabbit holes where you're like, I really should just not even like
touch this.
Yes.
Well, and I think a big problem is a lot of marketing advice out there contradicts itself.
Yes.
Like someone tells you to do this, the other person says absolutely do not do that. So how can we tell whether marketing advice is worth your time? That's what we're talking about today.
Yeah, and we're gonna, if you need just a little bit of a carrot to stick around, we're actually gonna give you a framework, okay? So 3 simple things that you can do in order to pass every piece of marketing advice out there through this filter, so that way you can decide if it's something you want to take on. And we definitely don't want you to think that we're poo-pooing on people. We're not.
No, yeah, so here's the crazy...
I mean, maybe I am sometimes, but not this time, I'm not.
I got opinions. That is very true. Before we get started, Vivian, I do want to say, now don't get me wrong, there's a lot of bad marketing advice out there and things that you should just straight up not listen to. But a lot of times, it's just that marketing advice won't work for you specifically.
Yeah.
Remember, every business is different. What works for you might not work for someone else, and what's working for someone else probably isn't going to work for you. So again, we have a framework to decide whether you should take the time to listen to that marketing advice.
Now, I am going to do the hot take today as opposed to Chelsea.
Because she has opinions.
Because I got lots of opinions because I'm in my 40s and that's just all we do is all day long just opinionate, okay? So what my marketing hot take is today is a lot of the marketing advice out there, I feel like, is a little bit like a pig with lipstick. And what I mean by that is she's a pretty little thing and you're not getting the full picture. I feel like what it is they try to present facts, things that actually happened, you know, the way they got to be successful, the way they ultimately got to make all these sales. And they put lipstick on it by simply giving you the abbreviated version. They're not giving you all of the factors, all of the nuance in their storyline. And it's not necessarily because they're doing it intentionally. I think it's because they understand that in order for people to buy whatever they're selling or whatever advice they're putting out there, we like a good storyline. And that storyline follows a very simple arch, which is basically kind of like the underdog thing, meeting some type of, resistance and then overcoming it, almost, deciding to quit, but then not. And then finding success on the other end of it. Very clean cut storyline. That's not how any of life goes. That's definitely not how business ownership goes. If you're a business owner long enough, you will learn that very, very quickly. Okay. It's just, one thing after another that you're having to overcome. So I say all that to say, just remember what you're getting out there as far as advice for how to run your business or how to promote your business is a lot of times a very, very abbreviated version, and lots of things are left out.
Yeah, I love that. So Vivian, do you want to go ahead and get into the framework? I think we based this off of court.
We did, because I love me some Judge Judy and People's Court. Yeah, if you grew up on Judge Judy, you know what I'm talking about. Okay, we love that she had a firm hand, right? She dealt out very good advice, life advice, and she was also, very fair in everything she did. And she liked to tell people that they were idiots a lot, and I love that.
Vivian, I have something I need to tell you.
What, confession time?
Yeah, I don't think I've ever watched like a full episode of Judge Judy.
Yeah, and I think it shows.
Whoa.
I think you could use some Judge Judy in your life.
You want me to go on Judge Judy?
If you guys leave it in the comments below, tell us, do you think Chelsea could benefit from watching a little Judge Judy justice? Okay.
Justice. Yes. Okay.
Well, before we get into the framework, I do want to cover it, but really quick, can we please talk about what could potentially happen if you're taking, like, why is this important? What could potentially happen if you're taking marketing advice from the wrong people or the wrong source?
I don't want you wasting your time and money.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, that's where I am, at least. That's the biggest deal for me. If you're taking marketing advice and you're spending time, you're spending money, and it's not working, but you're looking at it and saying, well, they had success doing this, I must be doing it wrong. It's probably not the issue. The issue probably is that the marketing advice itself just wasn't for you.
Yeah.
It's not what's going to work for your small business.
Well, and for me, I'll be honest, outside of the money and the time, I think it affects your sanity.
Absolutely.
Okay, because you're like, it feels like you're banging your head against a wall. Like, why is this working for everybody else minus
but not me?
Yeah. And then also, I think that then leads to not trusting yourself to make right decisions in your small business. And so therefore it affects your self-esteem. Yeah. And we want you guys, part of the big thing that we say around here is the reason that we cover these topics is we want you guys to feel confident in the decisions that you are making. Yeah. That is a big deal. And so anything that's going to deteriorate that confidence over time, I'm not a fan of. Yeah. And so just know it affects a lot more than just you wasting money on, maybe a campaign that you wouldn't have thought of otherwise. The last thing I will say is I'm also not a fan of making things harder. Well, in my personal life, I feel like I always have to. For some reason, I have that personality where it's like I take the long route to get, from A to B. Okay. But we don't want you guys doing that. And we feel like it makes it unnecessarily harder on you to run a business while having this whole other life outside of your business if you're taking the wrong marketing advice.
No, absolutely. It can snowball into becoming a bigger problem than just, I lost some money on a campaign that didn't work out.
Sure. Yeah. All right. So, Chelsea, let's go ahead and say, what is it, as she had mentioned, because I love Judge Judy so much, and Judge Million. Okay, you guys, People's Court. She's the Hispanic one. Okay. Do you know who she is, the Hispanic one?
I think so.
Oh, you got to watch her too. She's good. Okay. But Judge Judy's the OG.
Okay.
If we were having a trial for every piece of marketing advice that you see out there, that you read, that you listen to, that you watch, if you run it through this filter, what are the 3 things, Chelsea, that every trial has?
Okay. So evidence.
Yep.
Witness. And then, we'll get to a verdict.
Yes.
Okay. So let's start with evidence, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
So the evidence is anytime you hear something or something's recommended, we want you to go out there and look, is there any data? Are there any numbers available that you can actually look to see if it's true and if the data is actually supporting what they're putting out there?
Yes.
Is there a case study that has been done or written about, or are there actual real results behind this claim? Now, I'm going to tell you, I'm really good at sniffing this out pretty quick, the results part of it, okay?
Okay.
When I have somebody online that I'm watching that says, I made $2 million in 1 month doing X, Y, and Z. There are a couple things I always think to myself. I'm like, first of all, does this person actually expect us to believe that, being that you have uploaded all these other videos that, I'm sorry, just doesn't kind of match what you're saying, right?
Yeah.
You have to look and research and be sure that you're picking up on other cues outside of just what the person is verbally stating.
Okay.
And some ways that you can do that is, if it's somebody online and that's the only place you follow them, you've never met this person in person, go on their website, look and see what kind of clues that leaves you there. Do a quick Google search, okay? See what kind of information is out there. For a lot of these people, you can find what their net worth is, okay? So if someone's telling you for the last 10 years, I've made, $2 million, this and that, okay, well, there's got to be some information out there kind of, backing that up. You can't just throw stuff like that out and run a business that large under the radar.
Absolutely. And I feel like this is kind of starting to bleed into witness as well.
Okay.
Which is our second step.
Yeah.
Second step. Yeah.
Second component of a
Second
trial.
component of a trial. Yeah. It's focusing on who's making the claim and are they credible in your situation. I think the in your situation part is very important. Does the witness understand where you're coming from, and is there marketing advice specifically for someone in your situation?
Yeah, I think the interesting part of this, we stick to giving SOBs, small owned businesses, advice.
Yeah.
And part of the reason we feel like we can speak to that is because we have worked with larger budgets, but also smaller budgets. Yeah. And I can tell you personally, I feel like I understand, because when I first started doing this whole marketing thing, it was not for companies that had these extensive, $1 million budgets. It was from building something from the ground up when you have a very, very shoestring budget to work with, and you're having to think, what are some guerrilla marketing tactics I can use? Even looking at something as simple as postcards, how can I try to make this affordable in a way that I can start to see some results quickly, and then that means we can reinvest and be able to do larger marketing campaigns. And so I think those are all the things that small business owners run up against that's very different from a company that is kind of outsourcing to an advertising agency or anything. Yeah. You just approach marketing very differently.
Absolutely. And from my perspective, I don't want to say I never did big brand marketing, but I have spent my marketing career solely focusing on small businesses. That's why we are credible witnesses, because our entire marketing strategies, all the conversations we have, are specifically for small business owners. Now, if a Fortune 500 CMO wanted to listen to this podcast, absolutely, I'd love that you're listening to it. I really don't know if they would get the advice they're looking for from us. I don't think they would.
Yeah. I mean, the one up there that we certainly could have is for sure that we stay on top of these marketing topics way more than
true.
some people do. I feel like we're a little nimble in that sense. Like we're on top of it. We're reading a lot. We're looking to see what kind of new things are out there. Google reviews changing, all that stuff.
Google's new AI ads.
Exactly. Yeah. So there are things they could potentially learn, stay on top of. The only thing is, to your point though, with what we're talking about here, we want you guys to just understand. And Chelsea, I know you and I have had this conversation before where you've actually told me the thing that people don't understand sometimes is that look at what the person's actually selling. Okay.
Yes.
So talk about like the guru that's.
Yeah. So on social media, I don't know about you guys, but when I'm on our business page and I open up the Explore page, all I see constantly are these marketing gurus selling their ebook on how to sell or selling their, not platform, what's the word I'm looking for? Their course, selling their course on how to sell, how to market,
how to grow your Instagram.
Yeah. That's a big one. How to grow your Instagram. These marketing gurus, their target audience is businesses.
Mm-hmm. It's you.
Yeah. Your target audience is a consumer. The way that you sell to a consumer versus to a business is very different. I mean, that's the difference from B2B marketing and B2C marketing.
Yeah.
Business to business, business to consumer. They're classified differently. And that's because the way that you do marketing, the way that you market to your target audience is going to be different. So how helpful is their advice when they say, oh, look what I've done. I've made all of these sales.
Yeah. It depends on now if they were from the approach of, let's say we used plumber in one of our recent episodes as an example. Mm-hmm. If I was a plumber,
okay,
I had my small business and I grew that plumbing business to eventually, let's say 100 employees. And then by all means, when I'm out there speaking to you as a fellow plumber and I'm like, I'm going to teach you step by step how I grew my plumbing empire. And I'm going to teach you how you can do the same thing, getting plumbing sales and all that stuff. Very different because it shows he has experience in the thing that you're doing.
Yep.
And also it's the place he has been to the place where you're currently at. Right. Yeah. And so the difference in that is maybe this Instagram person that's pitching you a course on how to grow your Instagram has never sold a legit product. And by legit product, I mean, they're selling a product. An ebook is a product. So it's like a framework, but maybe they're not you who's trying to sell your crochet animals at farmers markets. Yeah. So just remember that you want to collect, like we said, collect as much evidence as you can, look for data, look for information that's out there that's going to indicate whether or not what they're saying is factually true.
Yes. Also, something to consider, look at where their marketing advice is budget-wise.
Yeah.
I don't want you guys taking marketing advice that's going to blow your budget just because you're like, oh, well, it's definitely going to work.
Yeah.
Yes, the phrase you need to spend money to make money is valid, and you should be investing in your marketing. That does not mean you go all in on a piece of marketing advice. This isn't a casino.
Yeah, I mean,
just saying, don't go all in.
Judge Judy would say, you're an idiot.
Well, what I was going to say is you're going against our marketing advice, which is never put all your eggs in one basket. Yeah. You got to have multiple marketing strategies going on.
That's right.
Or marketing initiatives.
That's right. And if anything, that's just smart. Diversifying is smart. And then that way you can test. So we're not saying that eventually, and the way we like to approach it is if you're out here testing different things, once you have the data back and you're looking to see what the results are, if you want more of those results, the good ones, right? Like maybe your billboards aren't giving you as good results as you want, but your postcards are, then great, take some of the money from the billboards, put it in the postcards, and then eventually maybe you can just decide not to do billboards anymore and just do the postcards. But we want there to be logic when you're making these decisions.
Can I say something else, Vivian? Yeah. I also want you guys to just, I don't want to sound mean, but just like think about it.
Okay.
If a piece of marketing advice sounds insane and you're like, that's not going to work, and I'm worried about doing this, but this person did it and it worked for them, so maybe I should do it. Maybe you shouldn't.
Yeah.
If something makes you uncomfortable, to an extent, I'm not saying uncomfortable you don't want to be on video. I mean, in social media marketing age, there could be ways that you discover that you can still create content without being on video. But that's like a different level of uncomfy that I'm talking about, Vivian. Does this make sense?
Like if it's making you stretch too much, like...
Well, okay, I have an example. Guerrilla marketing can get a little iffy.
Sure.
A piece of marketing advice that I saw that I was like, I don't want people doing this. Putting not flyers. They were creating cards that kind of looked like things. Like if you were a baker.
Okay.
You create a card that looks like a cookie. You put the cookie on someone's car.
Sure.
And then when they like open it, it has all your business information.
Yeah.
That makes me feel iffy. Now, I am a woman. If someone leaves something on my car, I'm not touching it.
Sure.
Could that have worked for that person? Yes. Could it work for you? Yes. I'm not going to do that. It makes me uncomfortable.
Sure.
Okay. So that's what I'm saying. If something makes you uncomfortable to that extent where you're like, I feel like it would make my consumers uncomfortable, or I just don't feel comfortable doing this, you don't have to do it.
Yeah. And also what makes me uncomfortable is like,
also don't do anything illegal. Just saying.
I don't want anyone like that requires me going to like a parking lot and actually putting stuff, touching somebody else's car, touching someone else's property. That's just I hear you. So if you have things like that where you're like, could it work? Yes. Could it get eyeballs? Yes. Is it something I want to be doing? Do I want to put myself in a position where I'm having to lift people's windshield wipers, put something underneath, and then maybe that person's walking up and like,
the person was this video. This is an actual thing that I saw from a marketing influencer. They were putting it in the side mirror too.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
And and not just that, but did you happen to read the comments? I wish you would have, because
no,
I guarantee you.
But there was this same influence. I don't remember who, this was years ago, y'all. Yeah. But I still remember this because I remember thinking, bad idea. They were also going into stores with their business cards and leaving them inside products that related to what she does. Now, the comments in that one was like, you're getting a little, like, you're going to get kicked out of a store.
Yeah.
You're going to make people uncomfortable. Like, this is, yes, it's guerrilla marketing, but it's taking it a little too far.
I think I kind of remember something similar where it was like someone going into like a TJ Maxx or something and like putting it in. Yeah. Okay. Like underneath a candle or something like that, right?
That.
Yeah. Yeah. A little. Could you be doing something else with your time to promote your business that probably would get you further ahead? Yes. Yeah. So you're always butting up against that. This episode of the SOB Marketing Podcast is brought to you by the SOB community. If you're a small business owner that is neglecting your marketing and you feel like you've wasted money and time on marketing help that didn't deliver, or if you're just craving support from people who actually get what it's like to run and promote a small business, then our membership community is for you. Visit school.com/SOB to sign up today to get instant access and weekly support. That's SKOOL.com/SOB. Chelsea, based off of like when someone's looking at the evidence and the witness, what are the 3 verdicts that we could come up with? So when we're ultimately deciding, do I want to take this marketing advice? What are the 3 options?
Okay, so we got guilty, dun dun. Okay, not guilty, and mistrial.
And so the guilty is going to be if it's false, if it's something you just don't even want to attempt.
If it's illegal.
Yeah, if it's illegal, throw it out. Just, okay, guilty. Not guilty, solid advice, okay? Advice that you want to actually follow. And then the mistrial.
You're like, oh, I listened to SOB Marketing. They're smart.
Yeah,
I'm going to follow their advice.
I'm always going to.
Not guilty.
Not guilty.
We're not guilty.
The other one is going to be a mistrial, and that is simply just going to be whenever perhaps you don't have enough data or enough information, or you're like, you know what, it's worth testing like in a small way, so that way I can see if it's going to pan out over the long run.
Exactly. So remember, we're little scientists as marketers. We want to test things out and see if they'll work.
Absolutely. So can we do maybe just a quick run through of this as an example, Chelsea?
Okay.
Let's say, you know who Gary Vaynerchuk is?
No.
Okay, Gary V, he's a big guy who he on social media. At one point, he helped his dad run a liquor store or a winery, and he took advantage of like YouTube very, very early on, massive growth from the wine stuff. And then he went on to open like media companies and stuff because ultimately that's how he got his success. So he understood, what do you call it? Just like social media and all of that.
Okay.
So now he's got media companies. But Gary Vaynerchuk, one of the things, if he were to come out, and I think he actually has before, and said, you need to post 3 times a day on Instagram.
Okay.
Absolutely. If you're looking to grow your Instagram, you need to post 3 times a day. Walk me through these steps on what ultimately you would decide.
Okay. Walking through the steps. Well, first, let's look at the evidence. So he did grow his father's business. He now has multiple media companies. You said he grew on YouTube?
He's big on all of the socials.
Okay, so he's big on the socials. Yep. Okay. I would also, to be honest, look at how much he posts.
Which he does post a lot.
Okay, so is he following his own advice? Now, the only place where I have a little bit of pushback is this is now what he does, correct? All he does is give marketing advice. Is it realistic for me as a small business owner to be posting 3 times a day? Is that something that I would be able to do? Yes, there is evidence that it would work. Would it work in my specific scenario as a small business? He's not running a small business. He has a very large business at this point in time.
Yeah, and that's the other part, if I may interject. Yeah. When you look, he's got an entire team. He has a videographer. And that's
what I was going to say next.
Who follows him everywhere, who gets B-roll or captures footage of him talking and that they can repurpose. So he does have a team, videographer, someone who's managing his social media, actually uploading his videos and all of that.
Yeah. So that is the only place where I'm like, what is plausible for him might not be plausible for me. I'm going to be so for real. I cannot post 3 times a day on Instagram. Yeah. We probably do have the content to do that, but the time that it would take me to find, edit, make sure it's clean, write all the captions, everything like that, 3 times a day, that's an insane amount of time. That's not something that I can plausibly do. Now, I can take his advice and cut it and say, you know what, I can't do 3 times a day, but I'm going to do once a day. So I can edit the marketing advice. He's not guilty.
Yeah. So
I think this is a mistrial, in my opinion.
This is a mistrial.
This is a mistrial because I'm going to take a small piece of it and I'm going to try to work that into my marketing strategy.
Sure.
But I can't just take it on the way he suggested it.
Yeah, and I think with any piece of advice, the other thing you have to think about is what the ultimate goal is. Like he's talking specifically Instagram growth, okay?
Well, and that's the other thing. He said to grow your Instagram. Are you trying to specifically grow your Instagram or are you trying to get more sales?
Yes. And so the other option is when you have a mistrial like this and you're looking at it and you're like, okay, I already know I can't commit to doing 3 times a day. Like you said, I do think you say to yourself, I do think the consistency in posting daily might pay off for me, but then take it one step further and say, ultimately, my goal is not just to get eyeballs because you're not trying to be an Instagram influencer. You're trying to make sales. My goal is to create good content that attracts the right person, right? That they're going to be able to relate to and ultimately they're going to want to buy from me. And so that's just a little different than, what the advice is out there. But this is the logic we want you guys to use. This is the framework we want you to kind of think about whenever you see anything floating around out there, because the last thing we want you to do is be overwhelmed by everything you're seeing out there. As Chelsea mentioned early on in this episode, there's a lot of stuff contradictory advice out there. Yeah. And it's not for lack of people. It's not that people are right or people are wrong. People are sharing what worked for them, which could be entirely different than what is going to work for you.
Yeah. That is why we want you to follow the framework, because it's not about being right or wrong. It's finding what's going to work in your specific scenario.
Absolutely. Yeah. All right. So, Chelsea, I think that's it for the episode today. We hope that this was a topic that, is going to be useful for you guys. We hope you feel a little better about the fact that maybe you feel confused when you see things out there. I think everybody's
you feel good about being confused.
Yeah, we want you to feel good about being confused.
Well, feel good about feeling confused and then walk yourself through it.
Yeah. Happy to help you guys too. If you ever want to drop marketing advice that you're seeing out there in the comments and just ask us our opinion, we're happy to answer that and we'll reply to you in the comments. Don't forget to leave us a review.
Pretty please.
If you leave us a review, we'll highlight you in one of our upcoming episodes. We'll read it out loud and give you a shout out. So be sure that you also leave us the name of your small business so that way we can shout you out and perhaps even your website.
Yeah, and you know what? Go be the best SOB you can be.